Hey everybody, welcome back. The original Grognard himself, Devin, sitting here at the computer again. I know, taking a look at what's going to be our next playthrough. We are going to be doing Hunters over Korea. It is from Berserker Games, designed by Eric von Rossing. There's a good chance not a lot of people have heard of Berserker Games. If you're over in the Solitaire Wargamers Facebook group, you probably have. Berserker Games has kind of a small footprint out there. They specialize in solitaire print and play games. So yeah, kind of the only way you really know about it is if you kind of tripped across them accidentally or someone's directed you to the website. They're berserkergames.com or something like that. I'll throw the link in the comment section down at the bottom. Again, like I said, they're a complete print and play operation. I believe the only way you can pay is through PayPal. I don't think they accept any other forms of payment. And then, of course, once you buy one of their games, they send you the PDF with all the associated files that you need with it. Actually has a very large number of games, probably 25, 30 plus. I will say that Eric just recently got one of his games, his B-17 Flight Commander game. Lock and Load actually picked it up. And hopefully in this coming year, we're going to be seeing that actually in full board game design, production, whatever you want to call it. So good on Eric for getting one of his print and play games elevated to the status of being an actual full published boxed game. Always got to love it when game designers can pull that off. Yeah, this is the day after Christmas. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah, whatever. Hey, everybody out there, all my faithful, loyal, original Grognard followers. Hope everybody got everything they wanted, and I hope the year coming up is better than the last year we've had. It's been kind of a rough year, hasn't it? All right. So we're going to be looking at doing this through a Sun Tzu module again. I like Sun Tzu, I know. Again, this is something I crafted and did on my own. Really never had any plans of anybody ever seen it. So you know, it's utilitarian in the basics. There was one thing I messed up on. Sun Tzu has a way to do cards as cards, so you don't have this massive stack of cards over here like they're set up like counters. I couldn't figure out how to do that when I originally crafted the module. I could probably go back in. I figured out how to do it. I could probably go back in, but it would require me going through the entire module and basically building it from the ground up. And I just don't have the motivation to do that. Like I said, this is just for me. I did this for my own personal use so I could play it. So I'm happy with the cards being stacked off like that. But just so you know, in Sun Tzu, there is a way that you don't have this massive stack of cards acting like counters. So, yeah, very utilitarian approach to it. You got the operations map, the battle map, the airfields, mission numbers, a few other things. One thing I will say is that there's a lot of people that kind of complain about the graphics of the game. And the graphics are definitely, well, they're either Photoshop or paint drawn. To me, the graphics are just fine. I do not play a game for the graphics. I know there's a lot of people out there that do play games for the graphics and will be automatically turned off by this, in which case I think you're a pinhead, because if you're just basing a game, what's the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover? It's the content that you go for. But there are people out there that do take the graphics into consideration. Honestly, you know, the graphics would probably be, I mean, you'd see this out of something in the 1990s. As far as I know, Eric is just a one-man operation. As far as I know, he does all this himself. And like I said, it's a print and play operation. Games are like $15. It is what it is, you know that. But there are people that do complain about the graphical appearance of it. To me, like I said, I don't care what it looks like. It's completely serviceable. I can tell what the hexes are. I can tell what everything is. That's the only thing I care about. And as long as the gameplay is good. So that's what we're looking at. So here we have the map of Korea. And Hunters over Korea is more of an I don't want to say operational, but you basically control a squadron at kind of the operational level. It gets more into the planning of the missions and your weapons loadouts. Rather than getting into the meat and potatoes and getting into the nitty gritty of actual air-to-air, air-to-ground combat. That's done kind of abstract. A few dice rolls, you know. It's a quick, simple game. Once you got the mechanics down, I'm sure it goes real quick. I've played this once before. I've run through one mission of it. So I'm going to apologize because first playthrough, the first couple missions are probably going to go real slow as I try to bring myself back up to speed on the rules of the game. The rules, again, they're print and play. They're 12, 14 pages of rules and 3 pages of catalog. 3 play aid charts, which are basically just stripped right from the rule book. My only complaint is that the font is really small. This is like an 8 font, and my old eyes have a hard time seeing it. The only other complaint that I have is a lot of the units. Let's go ahead and take some look at the naval counters. Like here we have some naval aircraft right here. Oops. Go ahead and put that back. It tells you in the rules what all these icons mean, like this radar, and that's the gun, and your bomb and rocket load, and it tells what all those icons are in the rules. There just isn't a master list of them that says, all right, there's a little cheat sheet. This is what all these icons mean. I kind of wish there was one of that because, as I've said before, I'm not a clever man. I tend to forget things. I'm sure if I played the game enough, it'll be real easy for me to slip right into remembering, all right, that's their initiative, that's their damage, that's their gun, their bomb numbers, values, whatever. But starting off playing, it's probably going to be a little bit rough. So I apologize right now. So let's go back to the campaign map. And when you jump into this, and I will be referring to the rules because, like I said, it's been a while since I played this, so I'm going to be going through kind of step by step and figuring out how to play as we go. You have three lengths of the game that you can play: short, medium, long, and that determines how many missions you have to do. And we're going to go with short for right now because it's just safer that way, because I may totally flub up and get all my planes shot out of the sky in the first mission, as I'm wont to do in other games. You set everything up. You got your victory points over here. Starts at 0. Yes, it's possible to go negative victory points. And then, I put in the victory point charts here just for my own edification, so I don't have to go to the charts all the time. Then, mission numbers, mission turns, your current mission card. Yeah, I had photoshopped some extra stuff on here just to make it easier on me. Okay, so place the campaign map in front of you. Yep, place the victory point counter in 0, which we've done right there. Place combat initiative track. That's the combat initiative track. That's kind of how combat air-to-air and air-to-ground is held. Counter trays, performs. Okay, determine start. Since it is a print and play game, a lot of people have got a lot of suggestions on how to print it out. Usually, the two most common is printing it out on cardstock, laminating, cutting out all yourself, and then there are the other group of people who print the counters out on sticker paper and then affix the sticker paper to chipboard. The thin chipboard, so you got some good sturdy counters. I obviously didn't do the print and play on this one. I just converted it straight to Sun Tzu. If you've got a local print shop, Staples, Office Depot, Office Max, any of those, shouldn't take you more than $10 to get all that stuff printed out. Or you can do it at home, whatever. So, okay, determine your starting squadron. You know what? I actually like, we have the option of either going with Air Force or U.S. Navy. And you know what? I like the U.S. Navy. Gee, I wonder why. Because I am ex-Navy. So so the good thing is the game allows you to play as either Air Force squadrons or naval squadrons. So we're going to go with naval squadrons and see if I can actually. There is a way to determine what your starting squadron. Okay, determine your starting squadron on the following table. So we roll a d6. We can get F4s, A1s, or F9Fs. So let's go ahead and roll a single dice. That's a 1. Up. We're getting with F4Us, which are what? Those are the Corsairs. We're running prop jobs. And determine your home carrier. We rolled a 1, which our home carrier is going to be the USS Boxer, which is going to be, where's the Boxer? Or is that the Bressler? Boxer, A13. Oh, yeah, that is Boxer. I just can't read today. So the Boxer is going to be our home aircraft, and I believe there is, let's see, admin counters, home airfield. Yeah, so we'll go ahead and take home airfield. And stick that on the carrier so we know that that is our home airfield. See? Pretty. And we got the F4Us. So, let's see. Again, I apologize. This is going to be a little bit slow. Okay, so we know we got F4Us. Now I have to determine how many of them. Swear the Christmas holiday is throwing me completely off. 8 random aircraft counters of the type determined. So we got U.S. Navy counters here, and we got F4Us. So let's go ahead. Let's see. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And not all these pilots have the same stats. Most of them do. They're kind of real similar. But I do believe that there are, well, maybe not. I guess maybe they're all the same. So really the only difference is just the call signs. So those are all the F4Us. So let's go ahead and shuffle these a few times. And go to the campaign map. And basically take the top 8. So we got Bulldog, Crash, Babe, Razor, Mongoose, Cougar, Bear, and Duke. Those are our pilots for F4Us. So let's go ahead and put all those back into the counters just in case some of my pilots get shot down. I need to pull new pilots. All right. Okay, begin campaign play. We're going to go with short campaign, so it's 8 missions. Okay, adjust mission number counter. So we are actually on the first mission. So as the mission numbers increase, 1, 2, 3, 4, stuff like that. So I kind of wish there was a track that went along with it instead, but I can understand why there wasn't. Instead, you just put counters. So if you want to make your own track to count how many missions you got, that's fine too. Okay. Draw a mission card. Draw a mission card to determine the objective and details of the mission. All right, so we got this big old deck of mission cards here. And let's go ahead and shuffle these. There's, I don't know how many there are. How many missions are there? There's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 50 different missions. Well, you got a variety of missions you can muck around with. Let's go ahead and, whoops. Didn't mean to do that. Okay, here we are. We're back. A little bit of technical difficulties there. Had to edit out some of the last video I was working on. My nephew showed up, and he decided he wanted to hang out for most of the night. So we're a little bit delayed in continuing our playthrough. Anyways, so we've selected our mission card. We've randomly chosen our mission card out of the 50 missions, and we've got an airstrike. So we've got mission turn 16. So that means we've got 16 turns to do it in. Aircraft is D3 plus 3. So I think I already went through all that. I'm not sure when I'm going to edit it out. So we ended up with 5 aircraft. Primary target, rail yard at Nampo. Secondary target, a factory at Sariwan. Load penalty is -1 bomb load per aircraft, and target is per target damage. I think we already rolled for our yeah, we rolled. We got 5 aircraft. So we ended up Bulldog, Crash, Bear, Mongoose, Cougar. As you can kind of see here, these are the F4s. And let's go ahead and move those off real quick. Here's our bomb loads. The symbol bomb and / rocket means they can carry both bombs and rockets, have a capacity of 4, but all of our aircraft are -1 ordnance load. So I went ahead and loaded up 3 of the aircraft with 3 bombs, and 2 of the aircraft with 3 rockets. And since the F4 Corsairs come with fuel tanks, each one of them has got a fuel tank on it. Also, because of the fuel tanks, that increases the mission turns by 12. So normally what you're supposed to do is count up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. I just find it easier to start at the maximum number and count down for how many turns I have left. It's just a personal preference. I mean, and you can do whatever one you want. The rules say count up 1, 2, 3, so on and so forth to the mission finale. It's just easier for me mentally to count downwards. So, and then we got the rail yard here, and then the secondary target of the factory is here, which is real nice because our aircraft is right down here at the USS Boxer. So this is going to be a real nice short mission, hopefully. I say quite optimistically. Just a little thing about the F4s with their fuel tanks. If they get into an air-to-air combat, they got to jettison the fuel tanks, and they lose 4 turns off of their mission, which is kind of odd, seeing how carrying the fuel tanks gives them 12 more turns on the mission. Not sure how that works out. I'm assuming that it's pulling fuel, of course, from the tanks first, and if you dump them, your regular tanks are still in good order. So I'm assuming that's where that's coming from. So, all right. So let's go ahead and start this off. Let's go ahead and we're going to look at our handy cheat sheets here. I should probably go over the aircraft stats, what the different aircraft stats are, real quick. If for anything else, just to set them correct in my mind. Let's see. Okay. The little radar sweepy symbol, and like I said, there is kind of a list in the rules. Well, there is a list. It's just I wish there was a more dedicated, a little handy card. I suppose I could make the card myself. That has all the symbols on it, what all they exactly mean, so I don't have to go digging through the rule book. Okay, so the green little radar symbol that looks like a radar symbol is radar. Aircraft radar warning receptors. The higher the rating, the better it is at detecting aircraft. And then you've got performance, which is this little afterburner down here. Overall speed maneuverability, higher value the better. There are 2 values separated by /. Second value is the rating when carrying ordnance. Performance rating is the number added to initiative rolls and landing rolls. Okay, so 5 if they're unloaded, 3 if they're loaded. Structure rating, overall durability of the aircraft. It's the little aircraft symbol right here, so that's a 2. Then guns. Rating for the aircraft guns and cannons. If there are 2 values separated by a /, the second value is the roll required to score 2 hits. So if you roll a 4 or better, 4 or 5, that's 1 hit. If you roll a 6, that's 2 hits. And then some aircraft have defensive guns, mostly B-29s, which basically looks exactly like the gun symbol, only painted backwards. Then you've got the ordnance loads, which I've already described there. And then right down here are pilots. Oh, okay, there's where the pilot rating is. This is unique. These ratings are unique for the different pilots. There we go. So we got the little aircraft symbol, which is the pilot's bonus and air-to-air, and then the explosion is their ground attack. All right. So as we can see, Bulldog's got a 1 in air-to-air and a 1 in ground attack, whereas Crash has a 0 in air-to-air and 0 ground attack. Probably should have paid a little bit more attention to those before I assigned the pilots. Let's see. All right, so those are the numbers. And to take a look at the map a little bit, just to go over the map a little bit, obviously, this is a representation of Korea. The biggest things you have to keep attention to is the South Korea area, the DMZ, the North Korea area. These are kind of delineated by the red line. So everything to the south of this red line is South Korea. In between these two lines is DMZ. Above this is North Korea. And then you've got this yellow line here, which marks Megali. Now, this is important for rolling random events whenever you move into certain hexes. And then, of course, you've got cities, bridges. You've got this little anti-aircraft gun signature here, which means you're going to catch ground fire when you're moving through there. Bridges, you know. Pretty self-explanatory. The only other thing that we have to worry about are these aircraft. These are refueling sites. So in case you have to refuel, because not a lot of aircraft, not some of the aircraft can't carry a lot of fuel, and you've got wide-range emissions, you might have to hit those. The problem is if you hit one of those, I think you lose some victory points for using them, but you get a few extra turns on the mission. And there's the Valley Forge over here, the Essex, and of course the Boxer right here, and then I think the different airfields for the Air Force is Pohang and Gwangju right there, but we don't have to worry about that. So what we do is we've got our aircraft all selected out. We've got all the ordnance up. We know what the symbols and everything is, hopefully. Okay, mission turn sequence. Well, move your flight counter one hex at a time. So we are going to go ahead and take our flight and move it right there because our primary target is here and that's our secondary target. So we want to try to bomb that one. Then it says proceed to step B, damaged aircraft check, unless you're entering a refueling hex. So we're not re-entering a fueling hex. And so damaged aircraft check for each damaged aircraft in the flight, not including the B-29. So if your aircraft had been damaged previously, then you check it after you move it to see what happens with it. Then you have sight anti-aircraft checks, which are any of these symbols right here. If you fly over that, you have to roll for flak. And then after that is event. Roll 2d6 and refer to the appropriate column based on where your flight is located. Don't have to worry when you're in a sea hex. So only have to worry about it if you're over a land hex. That's the event check. Then ground fire, ground combat. Yeah, that's pretty much the turn. No random checks, no nothing. All right. So, and then that means. Okay, so we just finished one turn, so we've got 27 turns left. Head into the next turn. Again, move the flight another hex. There's no damaged aircraft, so we don't have to check for that. We're not over a land, so we don't have to check for random events there. So that turn ends, and that goes down to 26. Go back around again. Okay, so now we move here. We are over a land hex this time, and since this is considered part of the land hex, we are over the DMZ, so we have no damage check because there's no damage flights. So we do have an event check, and we check our random events table and roll 2d6 for that. And we're over the DMZ. We rolled a 2. Uh-oh. DMZ 2. Uh-oh. Engine trouble. Roll a d6. On a 4. Okay. Okay, the aircraft's fine. Could have had some engine trouble, which would have sent one of our planes back, but we didn't have engine trouble. We had the chance of engine trouble, so that ends that turn. So now we're down to 25 turns left. Continue our flight. We're flying into there. No damage, no random. So I should probably take these and spread them out a little bit, since there are multiple turns or multiple of these counters that I'm going to be going through. So 25. So now we're on 24 turns remaining. We want to go ahead and move into here. Now, since I'm moving into the hex with the refueling planes, excuse me, if I was flying planes that could refuel, because F4Us can't refuel in the air, I could refuel now, not going to, don't have to worry about it. No damaged planes, no random events because I'm over the sky. So we go down, hit that again. And okay, now we're starting to get into a little bit. No damaged aircraft that we have to check for, but we are flying over, and now we are in the North Korea section. So for random event, we roll 2d6 for North Korea, and it's an 8, which is ground targets. Okay, so we have D3 ground targets, -1 victory point if you do not engage them unless you're escorting or on a MiG cap. Roll on random ground target table and conduct ground attacks. All right, you know, I am not going to engage the ground targets. If we wanted to, we could go into a round of ground combat, try to rack up some victory points that way, but I really don't know how effective my bombing is going to be, so I don't want to waste my bombs on targets like that. So unfortunately, we lose 1 victory point for that. That's okay. No flak or anything, so that will be the end of the turn. We're down to 22 rounds. So, oops. The rail yard is supposed to be in Nampo, A6, not A5. All right, so now we're flying over the rail yard. This is actually our target hex. So let's see what we have to do when we actually hit the target hex. Let's see, mission turn sequence. We're not refueling. We don't have damage. Okay. Okay, so we have anti-aircraft sight checks, and if we'll notice, this hex does have anti-aircraft units in it. So it flies over an enemy AA site, must roll a d6. We got a 3, attacked by flak. Okay, so we do manage to fly right over some flak guns, and then we have to determine the intensity of the flak. 2, it is moderate. For light flak, roll 2d6 for each aircraft. Moderate flak rolls 3d6 for each aircraft and get a hit on a 6. All right. So we're going to be rolling 3d6 per aircraft. We'll just go right down the line. And we'll start with Bulldog. If we get any 6s, okay, we do have a 6. For each hit, roll a d6 +1 per additional hit beyond the first, minus the aircraft's current structure rating. And if you remember, the structure rating is this number right here. So Bulldog managed to get hit by flak, so we roll 1d6 +1 per additional hit beyond the first, which there were none, minus the aircraft's current structure rating. And we see what happens with that. So 1 - 2 is a -1, which is no effect. All right, so he probably caught some shells through his wings, maybe a couple pierced his cockpit window, but nothing too bad. All right, so that's Bulldog. So let's check for crashes anti-aircraft. Okay, so he rolled a 6, so he gets hit with anti-aircraft fire as well. So we roll a d6. 2 - 2 is 0, which is no effect. Okay, now we got Bear. He doesn't get hit with any anti-aircraft. Mongoose, no anti-aircraft. And Cougar, he gets hit with a little bit of anti-aircraft, so we got 1 hit on him. So his structure rating again is 2. 3 - 2 is 1, which is no effect. All right. So the crew chiefs are not going to be happy because they're going to be having holes to fix in a few of the planes, but that's okay. At least the planes are coming back, at least from that anti-aircraft fire. All right, now we have an event check, a random event. Okay, do we check for a random event if... Yeah, I guess we do a random event before we conduct the ground attack. All right, so we are in North Korea still, so we roll on the North Korea table. It is a 10, which is ground targets. I'm not going to engage them, so that's going to be another -1 victory point. Oh, that's not good. Maybe I should engage him, but we're more worried about getting to that target. All right, so... And we go conduct air combat, which there is none. And conduct ground combat. If enemy ground targets are counted, proceed to the ground attack sequence below, which is what we're in. And where is ground attack for the sequence? Air combat, ground combat. Place ground attacks. All ground targets are placed on the initiative track according to their target initiative rating. The higher the initiative rating, the more difficult they are to hit. If the flight is in their bombing or strike objective, place the appropriate target counter on the initiative map. So we're going after the rail yard, and their initiative is a 4. That's what the crosshairs is. So their initiative, they go in the 4 on the combat track. Okay, now all aircraft roll a d6 plus, okay, what's that symbol again? See, this is where I wish I had the little chart of what all the different symbols mean, because even though 2 minutes ago, maybe 5 minutes ago, I told you what it was, I can't remember. I have to look through the rules. Let's see, that's destruction. Performance. Okay, that is their performance. Okay, where are we? Determine D6 plus performance. And the performance for these aircraft is this number here, the 5-3. 5 is before, with ordnance. Without ordnance, the 3 is with ordnance. So they do have ordnance. So it's a D6 plus 3 plus the pilot skill if already determined position on the initiative track. Attacking aircraft attack in order of initiative. Attacking aircraft can select any ground target to attack. So we have a D6, and this is all going to be for mostly the same. Looks like there's only one person who's got a pilot skill, and that's a Bulldog. So Bulldog is going to be a D6 plus 3 for his performance, and then another plus 1 for his pilot skill. So D6 plus 4 for his initiative track. And he's going to be 6 is going to be, whoops. He's going to be, can't believe I'm doing that, on the 10. And the rest of them are just going to be D6 plus 3. So let's go ahead. It's going to be 7. And the next one is going to be 5. I think that's right. 3 plus 1. Yeah, no, 3. No, just 3 plus 1. Because his performance is a 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay. I'll put that right there. Next one is also going to be there. And 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. Now, place ground targets, right? Determine initiative, right? Attacking aircraft can select any, okay. Conduct defensive anti-aircraft attacks. If the target has AA rating, conduct AA ratings on attacking planes. Roll a d6 per rating level, yada, yada, yada. Okay, determine weapon system to use. But do we attack from highest to lowest or lowest to highest in the initiative? Let's see if we can find that in the rules real quick. I wasn't quite sure about that. Strafing runs, ground. Okay, ground target. In order of initiative. So I'm going to assume, let's see if it says on air to air. Maybe it's a little bit more clear on air to air. Okay, here we go. Planes attack in order of highest initiative. All right, so it's going to be highest initiative. So Bulldog is going to be the first one to make a bombing run on the rail yard. And okay, conduct defensive anti-aircraft. Target has the AA symbol, which it does. Roll a d6 per rating level. Each roll of 6 that hits the aircraft. So he's got so the aircraft here has got 5. So that means he's going to be rolling 5d6 against Bulldog. Okay, we've got a 1-6, so that's a hit. And just like the anti-aircraft fire before, it's a d6 minus the structure of the aircraft. So 2 minus 2 is 0 is nothing. All right, so he gets through the flak rule with no problem. Determine weapon system use. Attacking aircraft, determine which weapons, guns, bombs, rockets. We're going to go with bombs. Okay, bombs. We're going to roll 1d6 plus the pilot's skill per bomb. So you know what? We're going to just go ahead and unload all 3 bombs. And so it's going to be... let's move this ordnance marker down here. All right, so he's dropping 3 bombs. Pilots roll 1d6 plus the pilot's rating, which is +1, because Bulldog's got a bombing of +1, per bomb point expended. Okay, if any rolls are equal to or greater than the value listed on the bomb rocket attack table in the bomb attack row, the bomb rolls hits. All right, so now what we have to do is determine, this is where higher initiative really helps, because the greater the difference in initiative, the easier it is for you to hit. So he's on 4. He, as in the rail yard, is on 4. Bulldog is on a 10, so that's a difference of 6. So we look in the difference column of 6 to 7, and bomb attacks are 5+. So he is dropping 3 bombs. And they're all going to be +1 because he's got a +1 bombing roll. And if we get so that means it's going to be 5. We're going to need a 4 better. Okay, so we got 1 hit on the rail yard. And this is okay. Refer to the ground attack damage table for damage hits inflicted on the target. Okay, so we got... Look at the bomb table. Roll a d6 for 1 hit. It's a 3, which is 3 points of damage. All right. So we've got 3 points of damage. And what is the... I know I just had it. The 5 is how many hits that it can take before it's flipped over. So we've got 3 hits on her so far. I think we actually have a counter for that. For how many hits. So let's see. Ground target counters. Nope. Admin counters. Yep. Here we go. So let's just go ahead and pull that one. So the rail yard's taken 3 hits so far. And Bulldog has completed his run. So let's go ahead and just cock him to the side like that, to indicate that Bulldog's completed his run. Since we go in order initiative highest lowest, next one is going to be Cougar. Cougar has got rockets. I think Cougar is going to unleash all of his 3 rockets as well. Just because we want to see what effects these different ordnance can have. For rockets, pilots roll 2d6 plus the pilot's skill per rocket expended. All right, so he's got no ground skill, so it's going to be 2d6 per rocket expended. So he's going to be rolling 3 times at 2d6, and the difference in initiative is the rail yard is on a 4, and Cougar is on an 8, so there's a difference of 4, so we're going to be looking at the 4 to 5 column. In the rockets, we need a 4 to hit. Oh, so it's a lot easier because we have 2d6 to get a 4 or better. So first one, okay, 1 rocket hit, barely. 2 rocket hit. And the 3rd rocket hit. Okay, I'm going to guess, yeah, just looking at the damage table, bombs are harder to hit but do more damage. Rockets are easier to hit but don't do as much damage. So we had 3 rocket hits, so we got to roll 3 times on the damage table. This will probably finish the rail yard off. So we roll 1d6, so I'm just going to roll 3d6. 3, 3, 6. All right, so we got 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 hits. All right, so 2 more actually flips it, but I never put the reverse markers. So he is actually damaged. And so we had 3, 5. So, okay. 3 hits, took 5 more, 2 to flip it, 3 left over. Okay, so the damaged rail yard has got 3 hits on it. And actually, we get 4 victory points because we were able to damage it. That's since we hit the 5 threshold. We get 4 victory points for damaging it, which makes up for the 2 that we had already lost. Okay, and that's... Oh, you know what? We forgot to roll for Cougar's anti-aircraft attacks. So let's go ahead and do that. So we have anti-aircraft rating of 5, 2. So he took 2 hits, so it's going to be a D6 plus 1 minus his structure rating, which is 2. So it's going to be D6 minus 1. 6 minus 1 is 5. That's not good. This would have affected. We're going to have to go back and redo his attack run, I think. So 5 damage rating of 5. Okay. Oh, nope. 5 plus, the aircraft is destroyed. So Cougar has been blown out of the sky. Oh, that's too bad. So there is actually a separate table that we'll use to see what happens with him if the pilot himself makes it back. All right, so Cougar actually didn't didn't rocket the rail yard like we thought he did. All right, so now we go down to Crash. Crash is going to begin his bombing run, and again the rail yard's got 5 anti-aircraft, so we've got 1 D6 hit. So D6 6 minus the structure rating of 2, which is a 4, which is going to damage the aircraft. I know a 4 is a damage, so Crash is damaged. So now we're going to have to find Crash's damage side. There we go. And put that out there. Whoops, that's not Crash. That's Crash. Okay. Oops. Let's go ahead and pull this down here. Okay. So now he's reduced to an ordnance load of 2. So he's only got, instead of 4 bombs or 3 bombs, he's now got 2 bombs. So he's going to make the attack run with 2 bombs. I don't think there's any effect if it's damaged. Yeah, if he's attacked by anti-aircraft, I don't think there's any effect on that. So he'll go ahead and take his 2 bombs and drop. I wish I'd stop doing that. Drop his 2 bombs on the rail yard. And as we know, so he's going to roll 2d6 plus his ground attack rating, which he doesn't have. So it's just straight up 1d6 both times. The initiative difference, the rail yard's sitting on a 4. Crash's initiative is 7, so it's a difference of 3. So we look on the 3 chart. I'm going to be needing 5s to hit. So he's got 2 bombs and need 5s to hit. There's a 5. All right, so we have 1 bomb hit, and the bomb will do 5. That's a good roll. We'll do 4 points of damage. All right, so now the rail yard takes 2 points of damage, will become damaged, and then have 2 more points of damage left over on it. So since we did damage it this time, okay, we do get our victory points that I forgot to turn back. So Crash has finished his bombing run, and now we got Mongoose and Bear. You know what? Let's go ahead and let Mongoose do his with rockets first. And now, since the rail yard is damaged, its anti-aircraft value is only 3. So it rolls 3 dice. Okay, and we got 1 hit with the anti-aircraft. So Mongoose needs to roll d6 minus 2. 1 minus 2 is a -1, no effects. And Mongoose is going to lay off all 3 rockets. And you remember, rockets, you get to roll 2d6. Unfortunately, we're both on the same initiative, so we're on the 0 table. And I need a 5 or better, and he has no ground attack skill. So 3 rolls at 5 or better. 9, that's a hit. 6 is a hit. And 5 is a hit. So we got 3 hits on the rocket table. Let's go ahead and roll it. 1, 4, and 3. Rocket 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 points of damage. So that is actually going to be enough. It's already got 2 points on it. It takes 8 more to destroy it. So the rail yard is completely knocked out. There's no need for Bear to even make an attack run. So the rail yard is knocked out, and we get, I believe, a further 8 points for knocking it out. Because that's what the value of the backside of the... Okay, destruction rating, the amount of victory points you earn for damaging or destroying. Damage, yep. So, managed to get another 8 points. And that ends the attack run. So, we'll just go ahead and pull that off there. And move these guys down back to... It really doesn't matter where you have these. I mean, technically, these guys aren't in ready status. I actually probably should have them pulled off the board. So let's go ahead and just put them down here. Put that there. Move these counters out of the way. Move that down there. All right. These guys are on their way back. And unfortunately, Crash is damaged, so that's going to be dice rolls we're going to have to make. All right, so Crash is damaged. Cougar got shot down. Mongoose, Bear, and Bulldog are fine. Bear's the only one with an ordnance load left. Since Bear does have the ordnance load left, if I wanted to, I could try to strike this target here. But we've already lost 1 aircraft, and we've got 1 damaged aircraft, so to be honest, I really don't think we want to mess with it too much. So that actually ends that turn, which brings it down to 21. And now we start back over again, move the flight marker. Okay, now we do have a damaged aircraft, so after we move, we have to roll on the damaged aircraft table to see what happens with him. Okay, so roll a d6. Let's see. Oh, okay, so it's only on a 1 or a 2. Uh-oh, we got a 1, so we actually do have to check for damaged aircraft. 2d6 plus pilot skill on the table below. And Crash has no pilot skill. He's got a pilot skill 0. So it's going to be a straight up 2d6 roll. And we've got a 7. Oh, aircraft drops out of formation. Aircraft may travel up to d6 spaces away from the flight counter. So 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so he'll make it to the DMZ, it looks like. So just to remind us, let's go ahead and put him in the DMZ, because that does change our downed aircraft rolls. Oh, and random event now, because we technically still are over the coast of North Korea. That was what? That's a 5 for North Korea. Is ground fire. So roll d6 to see what type of ground fire we're getting. This isn't actually dedicated anti-aircraft fire. This is just ground fire that we're catching over, flying over, maybe static anti-aircraft positions, possibly from ground infantry battalions. So it's light, which is 2d6 attacks per aircraft. So we've only got 3 aircraft left in the mix. So again, we're looking to need 6s. Okay, Bulldog's fine. Let's go for bear. Oh, he takes 1 hit. So let's roll bear. It's going to be 4 minus 2 is 2, which is fine. He's good to go. And then mongoose. Oops, that was 1 dice of the 2 anti-aircraft. Okay, so the second anti-aircraft dice actually does tag him. So now I've got to roll d6 minus his structure. 1 minus 2 is -1. He's fine. All right. Looks to be kind of a hectic mission. So that ends that turn. So now we're down to turn 20. If I can find the 20 marker. There it is. All right, so fly right there. Okay, no damaged aircraft left in the flight, no random event. So that makes it a 19. There, no damaged aircraft, no random event. Makes it an 18. Here, no damaged aircraft, but we are flying over the DMZ, so it is a random event. It is a 10 over the DMZ. It is a ground targets. We are not going after ground targets because we've only got 1 guy with bombs left, and we've already got 2 damaged or knocked out aircraft, so we're going to lose 2 victory points for that. And just to keep everything nice and even, that brings us down to 17. Move, no damaged aircraft, no random events over water. And this will bring us down to a 16. Fly there, yada, yada, yada. No damaged aircraft, no random events over water. All right, now, coming in over the home base. Now we have to roll for if our guys can actually land. Landing on carriers is not the easiest thing in the world to do. Okay, when fighters land on a friendly aircraft space, including emergency airfields, they may attempt to land by rolling on the table below. Pilots roll a d6 plus performance plus pilot skill minus modifiers listed below. All right, so we've got 3 aircraft left. Bulldog, since he's coming, you know what? Let's go ahead just to make it easy. Let's jettison the fuel tanks. And I think Bear will keep his bombs, just so we can see what happens when we've got the bombs. So it's going to be a D6 plus the structure rating, and it's going to be a 5 since Bulldog is not carrying any ordnance. So it's D6 plus 5 plus his pilot skill rating, which is a 1. So it's going to be a D6 plus 6 minus the modifiers. Okay, what are some of the modifiers? -1 for landing on a carrier. Navy aircraft only. So D6 plus 5. We've got 9 is, okay, anything above a 7 is a good landing. Okay, and then Bear, since he is still carrying bombs, his performance is only a 3. So it's a D6 plus 3, and he's got no piloting skill. So it's D6 plus 3 minus 1 for landing on a carrier. So D6 plus 3 minus 1. So D6 plus 2. So that's a 5. Hard landing, aircraft damage. Uh-oh. Roll to see if it's damaged. No, it is not damaged. So he manages to land safely. And the aviation ordnance men will get those bombs off the Corsair real quick. And Mongoose is going to be coming in D6 plus 5, minus 1 for the aircraft, so D6 plus 4. 5 is going to be another hard landing, possibly. Roll a D6. 1 does not damage the aircraft. Okay, so we're good. All the aircraft, Bear and Mongoose managed to have a little bit of a rough landing, probably stage 2 Cs or something out there. So they land a little bit rough, but they managed to get there with no problem. Now, we got to figure out what happened to the 2 lost pilots. When a U.S. fighter is destroyed, drops out of formation, bails out, flight runs out of mission timer, yada, yada, yada. Roll D6 plus modifiers on the column where the aircraft is located. So our first one, Cougar, was shot down over North Korea. He was shot down over the target site. So that's North Korea. So D6 plus modifiers below. What are the modifiers? Modifiers, pilot skill. He has no pilot skill. So we roll a D6. which is a 6. All right, pilot made it back to base. Lose 1 victory point, but place the aircraft counter in recovery if damaged or ready box if, but the aircraft was destroyed. When you're no, it just says when a fighter is destroyed, drops out of formation, you roll. So lose 1 victory point. So now we're down to a 7. And so actually these would be Reaver, Babe, and Duke would be under ready. Okay, place the aircraft counter in recovery box if damaged, but it was destroyed. It's considered destroyed, but it says the result is it makes it back to base. And we're going to say damaged. We're going to say because it was technically a downed aircraft over the target hex that it was damaged and was forced to fly out. Actually, I guess it's more the pilot more than anything. It's more important than the aircraft because all the stats are based off the pilot. Yeah, we'll put it in recovery anyways, just because I'm not really sure how to do that. All right, and then Crash was shot down and managed to put his plane down in the DMZ. Oops. So we roll D6 plus pilot modifier. He has no pilot modifier. So 3 over the DMZ. Made it back to base. Okay, so lose 1 victory point. Put it in the recovery box. We should probably put Cougar as the... where's Cougar? Where's Cougar's damaged? Did I put the wrong one up there? Oops. I may have put them. Yeah, Cougar Crash. Okay, where is it? Ace, Razor, Babe, Bear, Joker. I know it's here someplace. Oh, helps if I. God. Not a clever man. Let's just go ahead and put that down there for now. And where's Crash? Where's his marker at? Oh, right here. Yeah, let's go ahead and just, yeah, down here is fine. Keep the good order side up down there. And okay, so there's that. Okay. Oh, here we go. Post mission phase. Determine mission victory. Okay, so okay, mission conducted with less than required aircraft. Nope, I had the required aircraft. Each enemy Yak 19 MiG-15 shot down, none. Each U.S. fighter shot down. So we're going to say 2, because the 1 plane dropped out. B-29 damaged, flight destroyed. Each ground target destroyed, we got that. Photo recon, air refueling. Result air random, running out of aircraft in the draw pool. So mission victory points. So mission victory points, so we got a 5 because we started at 0. I see. Okay, I see. You need to keep the mission victory points separate from the campaign victories. Gotcha. I wonder if there's a separate counter for that. I don't see it, so we're just going to go ahead and take this. So there should be a marker for mission victory. So we'll just go ahead and flip this over for mission victory points. So we're at 5 mission victory points. And it was a successful mission, so it's +2 to the campaign track. Okay, so that's the campaign victory. So you have 2 victory points that you keep track of separately. How well you do on the mission determines how well the campaign victory scores. Gotcha. All right. Understand now. Perfect. Just need to remember that there's 2 different victory points that we track. Okay. What's next? What's next? As you can tell, I'm kind of very slowly going through this. It's kind of my first time actually going in detail through. You can kind of see that if you know what you're doing, you could probably burn through this turn really quick. Okay. Okay, roll a d6 for each aircraft in the recovery of the airfield. Okay. Aircraft that were destroyed, which was Crash's plane was shot down, are removed from play and set off to the side of the aircraft draw pool. If your aircraft is short of aircraft, roll a d6 per lost aircraft. 4 to 6, a replacement arrives. We've got a 3, so there is none. So let's go ahead. Crash has got shot down, so his plane is out of the pool, and Cougar's plane is damaged. Okay. Okay, did not get a replacement or a random aircraft. Okay, yeah, with the upgrading aircraft. Scored 10 or more on the mission just completed. Roll a d6. You may upgrade your aircraft. I didn't score 10 or more, so I can't update my aircraft. So that is our first mission. We ended up losing one of our aircraft, and the other aircraft got shot down, but we managed to recover it. And we managed to score 2 victory points on the campaign track because of it. We successfully bombed the rail yard at Nampo. And we've got 6 aircraft available for the next mission. So you know what? Let's go ahead and just kind of prepare us for next time. It's kind of a little bit of a surprise. Let's go ahead and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle. And one of these days I will need to go through and let's just draw that one randomly and fix that so those aren't stacked up like actual chips. And what do we have? Bomber escort. All right, we're looking at a bomber escort next mission, which means we're going to be escorting a bunch of B-29s. All right, so I'll go ahead and set this up, and we'll be ready for it when we step into the next turn of gameplay. Again, I apologize, this kind of went a little bit slow. First time playing it, had to make sure I was getting all the rules right, but I have a feeling the rest of the week will go a little bit quicker. I think that's all I got. Questions, comments, concerns, complaints, criticisms in the comment section. And just want to remind everybody, the Original Grognard is on Facebook at the Original Grognard. If you go ahead and shoot me an invite that you want to join the Original Grognard's Facebook page, if you don't, if you're not a friend of a friend, or if you don't have anything really blatantly saying that you're a gamer on it, send me a message just so I know that you're kosher, because I've had a few people trying to sign up. It's like, well, this guy's got, member of 800 groups, and there's nothing on his Facebook page indicating he's a gamer. I hate to do it, but I can't accept you because I don't want any people with spam getting through. That's all I got. I'll talk to everybody next time. See you later.